Hi guys, it's Muffson from All Ages of Geek. We're here at PAX Unplugged 2024. We are here at Game Meadows booth talking about Galaxy Fighters. I'm here with one of the designers, John.
How you doing?
How's your PAX going?
Well, it's going great. A lot of people have been very interested in Galaxy Fighters, so we'll be getting some signatures. It's nice.
Awesome. Why don't you talk a bit about the game and how it came to be?
Oh, sure. I grew up playing a lot of arcade games, and one of my favorite genres in that is the space shooting genre.
Yeah.
So Galaxy Fighters I designed to be a homage to classic arcade games like Galaga, Ikaruga, Space Invaders, Asteroids. The references to the ships are to these classic games. The way the gameplays try to emulate the video game experience on the board.
Yeah, I definitely got those vibes after seeing like how the game board looks. Like, it definitely gave me those vibes, those classic shoot 'em ups.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a design background, so the art is very important to me. So I went with like a cyan, magenta, yellow RGB thing to give it like a 80s synthwave kind of color scheme to really bring back that kind of nostalgia.
Why don't you tell us about how the game works? How can
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I try to emulate that video game experience, particularly for that genre, by having that villain pressure that those games have. So when every player goes, the start of their phase is the spawn phase. They pull a spawn card, they place the alien tiles on the center of the map, then they roll dice to see what their commands for their ships will be, then they act on those commands to like blast at the aliens that are coming down. Then finally, any of the alien tiles that are facing the district that the player is defending start advancing on the player. So that keeps the pressure going throughout the game. So, and every player deals with that, so they're always piling in those aliens, the aliens are always spreading out to the edges, and the players are always trying to keep them in the center.
And well, like what's like the objective, and how can you like how do you actually win the game? Like,
oh, sure. The objective is survival, right? So if the players survive 20 turns, the spawn deck on the default rules are 20 high. So if they survive all that, they win the game. Now, as a design approach, I like to give players some options at the end of the game. So they can just, if they're happy with just survival, that's great. But they can choose to save the galaxy and try to clear the board out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what about for those who are not too familiar with those games, like for newcomers?
Sure. For newcomers, I guess the approach is the design of the art of the board and the tactile sense of the tiles, and they stack on each other. So there's like a great dimensionality to it, and I hope that, and even knowing a little bit about arcades and just video games is evocative enough for players that they'd be attracted to Galaxy Fighters.
What was like the challenge for you as a designer, like trying to put all this together, using like basically your background in design and also your love for those classic games? Like, what was the difficult part for you in that process?
Yeah, the difficult part was during the playtest. There's so many permutations to the spawning because you have 25 spaces on the center of the board, so there's a lot of room for variation, and how to create those cards to give the feeling for the players of a little bit of pressure and a little bit of stress, just enough that every time they're playing they feel like they have to work really hard. And so like trying to find that right balance was the most difficult part of it.
What was the most rewarding for you when working on this game, and also like how was like the response like after people got a chance to try the game?
Sure. I guess I enjoyed when after everybody was like pressurized, and when they succeeded, they were like they really celebrated their win because it was very hard fought, and I think that is my favorite part of it. And another byproduct of the playtest, I found that the players chatted about tactics constantly, and that's like an extra benefit that I wasn't really planning for. I didn't think people would talk too much about what to do next, and you should do this, and it just came naturally, and then it became like, yeah, I planned it all along.
Okay, if you can describe your game in 5 words, what would it be? Action,
arcade, board game, playing.
Okay, actually pretty much sums up what.
Yeah, you did it! Yay! Yeah,
you did it. I like it. Yeah. So tell our viewers how they can get a chance to play the game. And,
excellent!
Find out where they can.
Yeah, we're planning to do the Kickstarter next year in March, and we would love for people to. Sign up for our email list so that we can let them know when it's going to happen. You can find that at galaxyfighters.gamey.fun. And if you're interested in any other gamey games that I've designed, you can go to gamey.fun and see all the products.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure talking to you. And I hope you guys get a chance to follow more on Galaxy Fighters when that drops on Kickstarter real soon. We'll see you guys at the next video.